Chad Elkins presents The Elkins Accounting Hour with your host, Chad Elkins.
I swear that was one of the best suggestions you ever gave me, was to get a good intro.
Yeah, no, whoever did it did a great job. It's very nice.
Tax time forever. So how has the day been overall?
The day was great. I got to the gym and I went for the hike. And then I played pickleball and got my ass handed to me by this 9-year-old girl. Yeah, it's like this old man. I'm like, hey, you want to play? He's like, yeah. So him and I were playing. He says, well, I'm expecting some people though. So it was his son and his granddaughter that showed up. And his son, a guy roughly about my age, just like 6'3", he's got reach. And he's got this little 9-year-old girl. I'm like, look at this. This is the way I want to. This kid kicked my ass. She had a serve, and she knows what she's doing. So then me and the GF went to dinner, and then we got her. I want to brag about how good I am at training in my girlfriend. Not only do I have her down to, I think, 2 boxes at my house, she is down to, I believe, a box here in the Southern Command. And she has now consolidated all of her pictures. All of her digital pictures are now consolidated in ones she's keeping and deleting the rest. I was like, thank you. I'm going on tour later on this year.
Well, as we always do here, I have a beer I've never had that is called Gummies, and it's by a brewery called 420. So you're probably doing that on that.
Dude.
Actually, you're more right than you know, because this is a 9.5% ABV double IPA. So it's almost 2 times stronger than your typical beer.
When does it become mead or something else?
I mean, once you're getting up this high, it's pretty much becoming almost like malt liquor, I think.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it becoming it's categorized? It's not beer anymore after a while, isn't it?
I think, yeah, once you get past like 10%, it does, I think, become some other category, even though they'll still call it beer.
Right.
But it's a fruit punch double IPA. I've never had it, but I like fruit punch.
Where do you go to get these? Like, is
There's
there like some
Wine
man on the
Total Wine
street?
with you.
Total Wine sells this. Oh
yeah, they sell individual beer cans. You can get up to as many as you want, single cans. And I remember the first place we went to in Reno when I landed, didn't we go straight to Total Wine?
We might have.
We did, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Went to the south side of town, right, before I went to dinner. Right. Okay, I remember that.
And there's this picture of you next to the non-alcohol wines that I took just to...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're all making fun of me for that. That's right.
Well, cheers. This should
cheers.
be good.
All right.
Wow, that definitely tastes like fruit punch. It's good, but I can tell it's dangerous. Yeah, because someone could drink it too quickly and then have like 3 of them, and then they're really wasted. So
and they're having fun. Yeah, heaven forbid, Dad. We don't want people having fun now. Oh no.
Well, anyway, so I called Clary earlier today, and I swear he answers the phone. So I'll get to what's going on in my world in a bit here. This was almost an emergency session. I'm like, Clary, I got to rant about this. He answers the phone. Oh, how's it going? I'm like, well, you sound amazingly calm. He's like, I am calm. I'm having an amazing day. And I'm just like, whoa, we need to talk about this. So yeah,
isn't it odd like that? I need intervention or psychotherapy when I'm having a good day. You're like, well, something's not right, man. So this is fucked up.
Something felt off in the universe. So I was just like, I don't know. Is the world ending?
It might be, yes.
So yeah, I got some shit to talk about, but first,
you're not having a good day.
I'll get to it. I want to just say this about Clary, and I hate to give him credit on things. I absolutely freaking hate it. You see him getting ready there. People are calling you Boomer, by the way, just so you know, like Hatton Clogs. Clary, at the end of the day, it was a little bit close, it was close, but Clary's, and not just one return. Clary gets 2 tax returns because he has a corporate one and an individual one. S corporation, you guys. Those were officially the first 2 tax returns that I ended up filing on Monday of the tax season, because Monday is when the IRS opened up e-filing, all the states as well.
Yeah.
Not that you have to worry about that, but yeah. So Clary won.
I won.
He wasn't the first one to get me all of his stuff. However, he was the very first one. I finished it. It was in good order. His bookkeeping was in good order.
Mm-hmm.
Right when I sent you those bookkeeping, or not the signature pages,
right,
so I could file, you had that to me within the hour. So I was like, shit, Clary won this round.
Yep.
So
yep. Are you going to tell my competitor that I dethroned for this year is reigning champion of fastest with the tax returns?
No, they tend to not tie it to their ego. They just
yeah, I was gonna say they probably don't give a shit. They're like, who? What? No, I just want to be done with this. I don't care.
Now, to be fair, Clary, as you're going to learn later, well, actually, very soon, like in a way, you kind of want it by default, but it doesn't change the fact that you still got me your signature pages way ahead of like anybody else. So yeah. But yeah, so well, let's keep talking about your good day. I don't want to get into my ranting and raving just yet. Is there anything else?
I'm capable of being happy and having a good day. It's just things can't go wrong. And today the things did not go wrong. What did I do? I slept in, I had my coffee, did some videos, received some very kind super chats from my audience. And that's always a good thing. And I don't just super chats, like take it as like, no, like today it was 10:30 and already people had made enough donations for me to live for the day. And that doesn't include book sales or any other kind of income that I got going on. It was just, I was, wow, look at how fortunate am I? Then what? I went to the gym, and it was like one of these days where I got back and bam, people were ready to do something else. And then the next day, like there was no wasted time. And then I'm trying to think what else I do. I published a couple more books on Audible through their AI auto publishing. And then I went for a hike, and then I played pickleball, and then I got back, then we went for dinner, and now I finished a project, getting all the digital files all organized and everything. Like if every day was like this, I'd be ecstatic. And so, yeah, it's not like I won the lottery or anything. It's just no one fucked up. I didn't get behind some slow driving soccer mom. I didn't get an order that wasn't delivered correctly. I didn't have people say, oh, your credit card's been stolen. Like it was a day where the human world didn't fuck up, or at least I didn't have to deal with it.
So maybe the way to approach every day is you expect to be annoyed, you expect people to be inconsiderate, you expect people to be incompetent.
Yes.
You just know some bad shit's going to happen. So I think when bad stuff doesn't happen, you can count it as a good day.
What it's going to boil down to is I'm just not going to interact with society as much. Like you can't piss me off if I'm not interacting with you. So I was like,
that's a fair point. Quick update about Red Hawk. This is just a quick. So last week, as you know, we talked about Red Hawk's experience at H&R Block so far this tax season.
He got fired. What?
Oh, no. He's fine.
Oh, okay. All right.
But, we talk about you like it when I'm in pain. Red Hawk was in some pain this week.
Good. Okay.
So on Monday, he sent me this picture of like, he had him face down, so there was no identifying information.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a slew of like 1099 forms. I mean, there were easily like 50 there. I'm looking at the picture right now, and there were so many of them. And he goes, just had a guy walk off and drop in his documents. Chad, I'm not joking. There's close to 50 it's a W2G, which is when people gamble. They have to issue statements.
Okay, yeah.
Gambling.
Yeah.
So the guy was a professional gambler, and poor Red Hawk had to go in there and input like all of these one by one. Wow. So, and if you look at the picture, it looks really freaking miserable.
But that's not necessarily complicated. You just got a lot of W-2s, right?
It is so tedious to enter those one by one, Clary. Like that took him 2 hours easily or I'd say like an hour, to just be like,
Right, but it wasn't, he had to go consult like he had to enter a bunch of W-2s.
No, but it's just incredibly like tedious. And so that was Monday. And then and so I told him, I'm like, tough break, man. But I had to go through that when I first started. It's just, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Then yesterday he sends me another picture. Clary, there's boxes full of receipts, and then there's the picture that he sent me. I
Yeah.
mean, this type of shit. He goes, box of 1,000 receipts from an Uber guy, and then his quote was, "I can claim the food on my taxes, right?" Which is not, you're not allowed to do that. But I mean, so what Red Hawk had to do was go through all of the receipts and like take out all of the ones that you can't
Right.
deduct and try to decipher what he could deduct. It took him like all day.
So here's my question. Does he charge him for all day? Like when someone drops off box of receipts.
That's up to H&R Block. I mean,
Really?
yeah. And so if it was me, somebody came to me, first of all, no client of mine would ever do that. But if
Right.
they did, I would quote them probably $1,000. I'd be like, okay, I'll do this, but you have to pay me $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
And so
No,
then
no,
they
no
wouldn't, and
doubt.
they'd leave.
Yeah.
So I'm not telling you these stories to dissuade anybody from getting the good experience at H&R. We're all about keeping it real here. And I want you to know, in order to get this experience, there is going to be some, I don't want to call it hazing, but you're going to have to start out by doing some things like this.
Yeah, no, and
Okay.
it's actually good for you because the next time he runs into, say, a professional gambler, he knows what to expect, and oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is how you do that. Or Uber, I didn't know that about Uber drivers or Lyft drivers. Like one, I thought they would have just saved the receipts and organized it in a spreadsheet like I do,
No.
but they just drop it off at H&R Block and expect H&R Block to be the bookkeeper, huh?
I guess. Now he didn't say if like they left him a spreadsheet. I mean, I doubt it, but I just the whole box full of receipts things. That thing is real. People still do that, and they end up at H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax. So, and yeah, I'm gonna call it. Yeah, Nick is Steve. I'll have some stories for you because he is also at H&R Block right now. So I'm gonna get
Mhm.
others on here. It's not just Parker and Red Hawk. I'm gonna get others on here with
Oh, I'd
stories.
love to hear it. I'd love to
Yeah,
hear it. So you are going to get some bookkeeping experience, even though you're aiming for tax.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's
there you go. These are
a
all good things. So good. Look. I just want to point out Red Hawk. Red Hawk, this is good experience, man. You're learning everything.
yeah. And for those that do eventually open up their own practice, they're going to know not to take clients like this because like you've heard me preach, don't just take anybody off the street like H&R.
Mm.
H&R takes anybody off the street.
Did I
So
ever tell you about the time a guy came to our bank and he had 45 LLCs?
no,
And his tax
45.
return was like that fucking thick. And
Shit.
they wanted me to underwrite it. I'm like, how much is this for? And it was like, I don't know, 150,000. It wasn't above 200,000. I'm like, you understand the underwriting cost of this is going to blow anything out of the water, and not to mention maintaining collateral and all that other stuff. I think can you believe it, Chad, that guy went belly up and went bankrupt? Can you believe it?
Imagine my surprise.
Imagine that. That's a
Um,
guess what generation he was from.
I would say boomer, but I know some Gen Xers that aren't too great at this either. I have to be fair. So
Yeah, no, he was a boomer. He was a big businessman. I didn't take the time to understand his business, and no, I took plenty of time to understand his business and looked at him like, yeah, you don't have a business here.
I'll just read this real quick from Spambot Fodder. The local accountant in my small town told me got punked by a client. She bought in a shoebox full of her receipts in a thumb drive with all her receipt images sorted by type and date. Now that's not quite as bad because there's been at least some kind of effort into
Yeah,
sorting, but I mean it still sounds like a nightmare
you
because if
still
there's
got
no
to add it into a spreadsheet or software.
yeah, because if there's no like a summary of this, then it's just taking forever. And
Yeah,
H&R is not going to make you pay for that. They're going to make, the fresh meat do it.
really? Are
So,
they?
yeah, like
I
like what Red Hawk has to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought they'd say no. We don't do bookkeeping. When you have this organized into a spreadsheet, we'll do it. So that's an impressive. I thought H&R Block was like, we just do your taxes, you go away now.
You know what, Nick is Steve, since you're here, because I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but if you know how they charge with this, because I really don't know if they do it by time. I think they just do it by form, but I
Okay,
could be
all right.
wrong. Oh, so they do bookkeeping for a fee. Yeah, that makes some sense
Okay,
then.
all right,
So
yeah.
yeah, okay. So yeah. Now Clary, You know what? I'm going to clear out some super chats, and I'm going to go into my rant.
All right,
Okay,
I'll
I think
do
we're all
it.
ready for
We'll
my.
put you in a good mood before you do that.
Please.
All right, Chase Robideau, $5. Go busy season.
Go busy season indeed, Chase.
Can I get a
Cheers.
little banner flag and just says busy season, and I cheer on the busy season team?
Let's go team.
Christoph and on $2. A real pro gambler also has a loss log to claim. Yeah.
The ones that I've worked with, usually they don't actually claim the income because most pro gamblers lose more than they
Yeah.
win. Do you know the rule on that, Clary? How you do gambling losses?
You just write them off against whatever gains you had. You mean like if they roll over year after year?
Well, what confuses people is you can go down to zero, but if you have more losses than gains, you can't have negative. You can't claim losses. You
Well,
can
that's
only
because
claim them.
there's no income to write it off against.
Right. But
Right.
I think professional gamblers, at least at first, don't understand how that works. So
I'm gonna guess with the thing like professional gambler, you don't understand how a lot of things work. There's
and
a
this,
bunch of big old buildings not too far away from here that they didn't just poof in the middle of nowhere. They came from somewhere. The money was there. But I guess get one guess how they built those buildings.
and Clary, what city are you sitting in right now?
I'm sitting in one of the best cities in the United States, Las Vegas.
Yes. Let me see what else we got.
My truth, the king. I thought Uber and Lyft drivers were usually better off tracking mileage because even when considering full cost repair of the car, mileage was a superior route. Depends on the price of the car.
Well, I mean, that would when you without getting too technical, the price of the car, you can depreciate it based on the mileage. It's based on like,
Mhm.
Uber or Lyft mileage versus your total mileage. So you can do that. It's not the comment itself is not wrong, but typically you're right. Yeah, you would just take mileage. So truthfully, I don't know what all of those receipts were. If they were all food that you're not allowed to write off, maybe it was easy for Red Hawk, but I didn't show you the picture, but it's a lot of receipts. Oh, Dre,
$2. Show sponsored by Boxes of Receipts and Cuddle Wookums. Cuddle Wookums. Those are my two favorite sponsors.
So, Clary, you can answer. Why do you suppose I still have done Cuddle Wookums taxes for the last few years?
Well, just so you can see how miserable it is. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit sinister of me, but
no, it's not sinister. After she tried to get you in jail and treated you like shit and lied was a psychopathic bitch. I think her misery, you're entitled to watch her like a lifelong movie and just cheer on her demise. And you have earned it, sir. And she until she apologizes.
No.
Well, okay. Well, there you go. Fine.
No, not once.
No, never. Because she's right.
Oh,
she is right.
Someday I'll tell them the story about the emails that you sent here. Not today, but someday I will.
I sent her one.
There was one major one.
Yeah, that was the last one. What happened? Okay, Lord, $2. Sally, this is Cappy taxed. Hope everything is good. Cappy taxed. Oh, that's right.
He'd rather. Yeah. Oh, Dre, I'm so glad you're in the chat.
Dre, $2. Can Cappy write off his hand injury from beating the dog?
How is your hand? I wanted to.
It's fine. It's better now. I went to the gym yesterday and I did things that required fingers and not thumbs, and then today I did things that required thumbs, and it's not perfectly all right. It hurt a little bit, but it's fine.
Okay, good. Because somebody else, I'll read her comment. She wanted to know about that. This lovely lady says, "Yes, never ever say
crazy
quote,
woman,
today's gonna be
crazy
a good day."
woman. I don't
Yeah,
you run with some shady characters.
She made salmon for dinner. Yum.
Christoph and on $5. Card counters made money until casinos hired card counters to order a shuffle when the Dex Sigma value got too high. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You never gamble out there, do you?
Rarely, I'll go if some people want to go, but I don't spend more than $20. Like me and Atham went gambling that one time.
You
We
mean
watched Atham. Yeah, he lasted 18 hours on $5. It's like, Jesus, let's go.
He just kept, like, when he was down to the final
Yep.
25 cents, he just kept winning. That was fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was fun. It was standing there and watching you play this like 1980s video poker game. That was real fun.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, I've been waiting to talk about this.
You seemed pissed earlier today. You weren't in a good mood.
Okay, Clary, I've been trying to figure out how to start my rant off here, so I'll start out with a few questions for you. Okay.
Okay. All right.
What would you say is one of the biggest things that you have to do as a tax accountant in busy season in terms of like one of the most important things is to stay on top of things, right? Like you really don't want to fall too far behind. And so what happens is that, you learn to manage your hours, you learn to manage, the work that you do and everything. And so all you can really do is you can stack the odds in your favor of not completely drowning, you want to keep up with everything. All right. Monday, so what, 2 days ago, January 29th, was the very first day to file taxes with the IRS. Okay.
Okay.
Now, people have been sending me stuff for the last couple of weeks, and that's good because it lets me get ahead of the game. I can come back with questions. So we want that. I want people to send me stuff early. That's good. Okay.
Okay. So if I understand this, for those who are not in the accounting profession, to translate it for your everyday guy, it was like blowjobs. You want them early. Okay.
Yes.
And often.
And often.
Okay. This isn't like dental work where you want it infrequent and deferred. It's the opposite of dental work.
Yes.
Frequent and often. Okay. I think I'm with you now. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So, the IRS released all of their forms on time. We're talking the S Corp returns, the partnership, everything. Slight updates to everything from 2022 to 2023. All is well. I got to Kraken. And then there's Illinois.
Special needs state. Yes.
Clary, I'm going to have to share my screen for this one real quick. It may not be easily legible, but I need you to, and I need the people to see this. So give me just 1 second here.
All right.
Yes. I'm going to take us out. Or you know what? It doesn't matter. So I noticed Illinois had been a little bit slow in getting their, not just their S Corp, but their regular return forms released. Okay.
All right.
And for the longest time, you can't really see it well, so I'll just read it. This is my tax software always lists when they say a form is expected to be available so you can work on it. They depend on the state agencies for that, and the federal. So for the longest time, both the S Corp and regular. So Illinois, of course, has its own 1040. It has its own version of the S Corp return, partnership. It's nothing you have to worry about because you're smart enough not to live in a state like
I'm
that.
in a no income state. Yes.
So I look at, for the last, you can't really see it, but for the Illinois 1040, for the last 2 weeks, it has said final pending from tax agency, which basically means for the last 2 weeks, the Illinois Department of Revenue has been saying, oh, we'll release it any time now. No problem. It's almost ready. Okay.
All the affirmative action hires by the Chicago, maybe Lori Lightfoot's working over there. All right.
So it had been saying the same thing for the S Corp returns because when are S Corp returns due, Clary? Let's just say
they are due not April 15th. They are due March 15th.
March 15th. Yeah. So that is the ones that you want to get as early as possible so you can get them done. Okay. And so you can imagine my surprise when, I get up this morning. So I'm already confused that none of these Illinois returns have been available for the last, forever. It wasn't available this morning. So I finally go to my software because I want to know when they're going to be available. And I don't know if you can see this. Not only are they not having any of the S Corp and partnership related stuff available until February 7th, which is fucking ridiculous. And I'm going to get into that in a second. The other one here, one of the fiduciary things, it's something you have to do for corporations in Illinois. Can you read that?
Is that the 14th?
February 15th.
15th.
I am not going to be able to file Illinois S Corp state returns and partnership returns until February fucking 15th, Clary.
So now all these have to go on the back burner.
Yes.
You now have to track them all, have a separate spreadsheet. Yep.
Now, so I calmed down. You know, I'm like, this is when I first read, I'm like, okay, there must be some big reason for this. You know, maybe there's a ton of changes. I haven't
new tax law or something.
You know, I keep on top of this. I hadn't read anything, but maybe this is just something I don't know about. So I go on my Illinois CPA Reddit group, and we're all kind of complaining about the same thing. They're like, did you see that shit? None of us. So here's what we all found out, including myself.
All right.
Clary, there's literally no tax law changes in Illinois from 2022 to 2023. Not just like, you know, personal taxes, corporate partnership, nothing is different. So why the fuck do we have to wait another 2 weeks to be able to file this? There's no reason that these forms are not available.
Well, so I went to the Illinois Department of Revenue, and I'm here now, and I'm on the IDOR, in Illinois Department of Revenue Management Team. The director is David Harris, and the assistant director is vacant. And I'm not kidding you. The associate director, it just says Africa.
What?
Like, honest to God, look at it. Go look up Illinois Department of Revenue, and you click on About, and then it says that you click on the management team. And it just says Associate Director Africa. So that leads me to believe they did not put the person's like their first name is Africa, but their last name they didn't put in, or this is some fucking idiot who thinks they're Madonna or other first one person, Prince. And so I'm going to look up David Harris to see what he looks like.
Oh, I see it. I'm on the page now.
David Harris, Illinois. Yeah. David Harris, former Illinois State Representative, Illinois Department of Revenue, a politician. Okay, so here's born 1948, boomer. Here's Wikipedia entry. Wow, looks like he was military too. This is kind of shameful. American politician, retired military officer from Illinois, current director of the Department of Revenue. Served 2 tenures of Republican member of the House of Illinois. All right, so this is a Republican too, so we should be on this guy equally as well. So that's bad.
It just does not make sense that we have to wait another couple of weeks for that. It doesn't make sense.
Hang on, let me look up Illinois Department of Revenue, Africa. This is who my show results with Africa. That's why I typed it in.
Africa. I didn't even see that.
Employee history, Illinois, Africa. Like, is that a typo or what?
I don't know. You guys can see it right here. Africa. But I mean, I guess the reason I'm so angry about it is because, look, like I said, all we can really do, it's like waves in an ocean. They're going to hit you. You got to just kind of surf them. You can stack the deck in your favor all you want. But when you're in a shitty fucking state, like 95% of my clients, we can't do anything. So of course I had to contact all of them this morning. I'm really done well. I'm already at double-digit corporate returns. I'm really getting shit done because you have to. And, these are mostly therapists. And, I told them, I'm like, look, I don't know what to tell you. I know you're going on vacation.
Stop voting Democrat. That's what you should tell them. But
let me stop sharing this. So, and you know what? I actually, I need to give my therapist a little bit of credit here because I know that I rip on them sometimes and I'm always, saying bad stuff about them, but all of them understood. They're like, listen, we get it. We have to deal with all kinds of bullshit with credentialing and everything else, insurance from Illinois. So we're not surprised. Yeah. But It's just so frustrating, man, because I mean, I can only control the things that are within my control, to
Mhm.
not create a backlog, to not inconvenience people. And then we got, my state revenue agency, who's apparently the associate director, is Africa. Like, like I said, nobody on the Reddit group, none of us through all our research can find any possible explanation for this type of delay. It's
So
never happened before.
it's obviously they provide guidance, right? The Illinois Department of Revenue is responsible for this, or is it the state legislature that's
The
responsible?
Department of Revenue is responsible for releasing the tax forms, so we can file the actual returns.
Are they waiting on to be fair to the Illinois Department of Revenue, are they waiting on something from the state?
Nobody could find anything like that. It's not just me that was looking into this. It's our whole
Huh.
CPA, Tax Preparers of Illinois group. We're all just bewildered by this. And there's even people on the inside who have contacts with the state legislature, and they're just like, no, nothing is going on. Nothing. So
So it's got to be just rank incompetence then.
that's the only
I
thing I could conclude. Or they don't have the money to staff people to process these returns. I
There
mean,
is an assistant director position that's open, but even then,
Africa.
I don't think. Well, no, there's two assistant director positions. One is held by just simple Africa. It's either that's a joke or somebody mistyped something. I don't know what. And I try to find a person named Africa, and it doesn't come up. So, but this is already a sign that that's pretty bad. Like there is incompetence at the Illinois Department of Revenue, and so I kind of, well, okay, whatever's going on there. Can you as CPAs, let's say, because this happened in Minnesota one time, whether this Department of Revenue there was delayed. Can it just get to the point, as it's going to come to a point anyway? Can the CPAs of Illinois just say, we're not filing your state taxes? This is ridiculous. Get us the fucking information. And no, too bad. We're not filing. You're going to lose revenue this quarter. Too fucking bad.
See, that's what's really so frustrating about all of this is that they get to wait until February 15th to allow us to file these forms. And
Mhm.
the due date remains, for the S corp part, it remains March 15th. Like, why would they do that to us? I don't know how you can organize, all of us to say, well, we're not filing. I just don't know how we could do that.
Well, no, what
But
I'm saying is they're giving you a month to do it, but the people who work at the Illinois Department of Revenue are no different than your rank and file average person when it comes to knowledge about taxes. They think that you just do it and there it's done. They have no idea how much time this takes, what your client workload is, and how long it would actually take you to do it. And as like the Soviets did this, they thought they knew better about agriculture than the farmers, and they took their seed crop one year, and oh my God, there's a famine, and more people died in the starvation of the famine that ensued than war. I honestly think that, okay, let me give you another example of how this is at least incompetence on the Department of Illinois. Can they get paid until they give you guys the forms?
they get paid no matter. Oh, wait, can the taxpayers pay them?
Can
Like,
the government of the state of Illinois receive money until the Department of Revenue of Illinois issues this form?
it can. And what's so frustrating about that is that they're not. Well, okay, they can and they can. Let me back up. There's something called a small business replacement tax. It's basically a state corporate tax. It doesn't have anything to do with your individual taxes. It's only on a
All right.
state level. And until we do the version of that return, for S corps and partnerships, we don't know what people are going to owe. So in a sense, no, they can't get paid, but I don't think they give a shit because I mean, I don't understand. I guess I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what's in it for them to delay
That's
it like
that's why I'm
this.
saying there. Let's just admit it. The government, which is a leftist entity, I'm not necessarily saying Democrat, but the government, the people there want the taxpayers' money. The enforcer of that, or the tax collector, is the Department of Revenue of Illinois. They, above all other people, should be like, hey, we want to get our money here. But I think the government is so inept and they don't know how farming works in 1920s, 1930s Russia. They probably do. And there's going to be a financial crisis, or not a financial crisis, but a shortage where there might be a cash crunch, and then we got to borrow short term. It's not going to. And your average Illinois taxpayer person is an idiot. They're not going to care about boring state finances. But it proves to me this is incompetent, because of all people, the government or entities, the government would want its money. And since there's been no tax changes, isn't Pritzker the governor?
Yeah, that fat fuck is still the governor.
He's a Democrat, right? He wants other people's money, just like his dad's
Of course he
money.
does. He wants to.
Then shouldn't he be on the horn of like, hey, why the fuck because we can't get paid otherwise?
Actually, I got an answer for this, because remember, even if you prepare the return and you owe money, you don't actually have to pay the money until the due date. So for corporations, it's March 15th, and for regular people, it's April 15th. So I guess in their mind, it doesn't matter how much they're going to squeeze the few tax preparers that are left in the state, because everybody's fucking leaving the state. I guess to them, they don't give a shit, because they'll get paid either way on those due dates.
Okay, but I think that if they're going to, let me ask you this, would it not at least kick, let's say they waited till March 14th. All right, they're not getting paid.
No.
So wouldn't that trigger, then they'd be like, oh my God, we didn't.
Listen,
or you think they're still too ignorant about that?
I was complaining about this to the candidate a couple hours ago, because I was telling her why I was in such a bad mood. I think I felt it might have something to do with like budgeting or something. Like maybe they just didn't hire enough people to process the return.
Could be.
So they're delaying it.
Well, hang on. But see, just getting a form out, if there's been no changes, don't you just rehash the same old form from 2022?
Again, this is why we all were looking into this. We're like, well, there must be some changes we missed. Dozens of us looked into it. There's no changes. They literally have to change the 2 to a 3 from 2022 to 2023 on the form. There's no reason for the delay. So of course I'm going to be playing catch up for the next 2 months weeks because of this, even though I did everything I could to like place myself in a position to not be overloaded, because it's not really a good idea to file anything federally until you've got the state return to match it. It's just not a great idea. So
I'm seeing nothing about the Department of Revenue suffering from a shortage of staff, but
you're not going to find anything. We've all looked into it. We're like,
okay.
What the fuck? One guy even called them today, and like he said something like, the person was so incredibly incompetent and hard to understand that I couldn't even get any type of answer.
A foreigner? Did they have? Wait, is their customer service outsourced to India?
No. I think people in Illinois are just stupid.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I try to make it easy on you by all your clients should move to a tax-free state.
Yeah.
And then I think that'd be good.
That is definitely something that should be done. So yeah, if the next time I do one of these, probably next week, if I'm still in a pissed off mood, just know it's because of Illinois. None of my clients had pissed me off. And that's why I said at the beginning of this, I was like, so Clara, you did win, but it was also sort of by default, because I can't really file for anybody in Illinois, but you did get me your signature pages before anybody else did. So it counts.
It is ill and annoying.
Careful, man. They've been calling you boomer in the chat, and that's
I am almost a boomer. I'm just like, I'm old and pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, glad. Do you feel better now yelling about it?
I feel a little bit better. Like I'm kind of tired right now, but man, if we had scheduled this 3 hours ago before I had a chance to kind of talk about it with the candidate, I was just like screaming mad. I was like, fuck these fucking,
You should move to Texas.
I just want to say,
Dakota.
I hate everything about Illinois. Is the worst state. Oh, I forgot to add this. So I shared with you that screen that showed when the various forms are expected to be due, for my software. Yeah. So New York and California are typically two of the other really bad, tax states. So I looked under there.
Controlled states? I can't believe it. Okay.
But they have their shit together. I went to go see if their state versions of the, S-corp partnership and all that. New York, California, they're up to date. Massachusetts is up to date. Why does Illinois always have to be the worst of fucking everything?
Are they usually late in releasing their forms compared to other states?
They're always a little bit delayed, but not like this. It's never been this delayed before. It's just fucking ridiculous, dude.
I don't know if it's maybe Africa is like a robot. It's an AI assistant director, and it's like fucking everything up, and like papers flying all over the place. Like kind of
Oh man.
like an R2D2 bot, and they just where's Africa? Oh, he's over there. Oh, little Africa.
The other thing that crossed my mind about this is that what you're doing by doing this is inconveniencing a lot of businesses in the state. And businesses have already been leaving the state in droves. It's like, are you trying to make that worse? Are you trying to make more businesses be like, fuck Illinois?
I did see it.
You find something?
I did see. No, it looked like state revenue was going down.
It's a budget thing, probably.
Income tax hits number 2. Illinois Department to begin accepting. I thought I saw something was down by like 1 point something billion from last year. But I mean, businesses and people are moving out, certainly out of Chicago, right?
Yes, very much out of Chicago. I mean, the population of Chicago and Illinois in general is just...
This population of Chicago.
It's gone down.
It is, yeah. Look at that. It was, what is it, 1990? Yeah, it was like 2.8. Now it looks like about 2.9. Yeah, it is going down. It went up a little bit in the 90s. It was a good time to be there. Almost hit 3 million. And keep in mind, this is Chicago proper. And yeah, it's gone down. It hasn't gone up.
I don't have it in front of me, but the state of Illinois, I believe, has lost more population than any other state, like in the last several years. Like it just keeps...
more than California?
Yeah.
Hang on.
I don't know. That could be percentage, not necessarily by numbers, but percentage of like people that have left the state. Because obviously California has way more people in it.
New York lost 0.5% of its population between July 22 and June of 2023. So 0.5% a year. So New York... that's the state of New York is losing.
They only do it by state. Like, I don't think you'll find a city one, for comparison.
You might. Let's see here. Montana and Florida saw the highest growing population. Oh, interesting. Alaska looks like it's losing.
Alaska?
Yeah.
That's a tax-free state. There's no women there, I guess.
It's also cold.
Yeah. You've been to Alaska, right?
I have. Rode my motorcycle there. Because I am a badass.
That couldn't have been fun at certain parts.
Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico is gaining. San Francisco lost a staggering 7.1% of its residents. In what time period? Illinois. Okay, here. New York, meanwhile, shrank by 2.1. Illinois and Louisiana lost 1.6 and 1.3 the population, respectively. So this is from 2020 to 2022. This is only a 2-year drop.
Damn. Well, COVID had something to do with that.
San Francisco lost 7.1. What happened, San Francisco people? You knew so fucking much.
I thought they cleaned up the streets for the Chinese president to come.
Yeah, bunch of hip. If I ever hear, you're from the place that like you fucking know everything, but you're wrong. Like you're gonna start. I just want to see. Oh, you're from San Francisco. You're gonna start shitting in my yard. What's your deal? Do you think you're entitled to the free shit? Just fucking assholes.
Oh boy. So anyway, I do feel better. I got to get some of that off my chest. So I appreciate you being here to indulge me in it. I know you like my pain. So just rest assured I'm in pain about this because it was going so well.
It was. And maybe you got the bad luck today. Maybe I got the good luck and nothing bad happened. I think you should just marry Rich.
Marry Rich?
Yeah, we should. I don't know why we're working, man. Have you considered marrying Rich?
Well, it did cross my mind, but it's also fun to be with someone who can prescribe prescription meds too.
Yes. I can't complain because she has helped me on that. Where it's just, Walgreens is being a see you next Tuesday, and she's like, "Oh no, I'll take care of it." And it's like, oh, it's like calling in an airstrike. Like you're the Marines or the Army. You're on the ground, like, oh, we're outnumbered. Oh, we need to call in an airstrike, and it's like death from above. You just get it, hit them with the mortars, and blam! You're like, yeah, we win. Fuck CVS.
On that note, I do want to give a birthday shout out to Mr. Texas. It was his birthday today, and I saw him today, so that was good.
How old is Mr. Texas?
76. Do you think we'll live to
76?
76?
Oh, yeah, we will. We're in shape. We work
Yes.
out.
Yeah,
No,
true.
no, that's my old man's coming out pretty soon. I'm gonna,
No kidding.
if remember when you, me, and O'Neill went to
Yeah,
Zion National
Zion,
Park?
yeah.
I can't find O'Neill.
Did
I
he
don't know what
leave the
happened.
city or?
Well, he went down to Columbia to hang out and chase some girls, but when I got back, I said, "Hey, are you into?" He said, "No, I'm in Columbia," and I've texted him ever since. I haven't heard back from him. I hope he's not one of them got killed or
Yeah, I
something like
hope he's
that.
all right. You know what,
Yeah.
man? That was one of the most. That was so fun that day that you, me, and O'Neill did Zion. It was so fun.
You got to explain O'Neill to everybody though, like because
Uh,
he's a different character.
O'Neill is huge. I mean, personal
Jacked.
trainer, just jacked. I mean, this dude, and he's actually. I felt like he was kind of a quiet, and a bit
Yeah.
of a soft-spoken type guy, kind of
Mhm.
a. But I mean, yeah, we hiked, and we got to the edge. Where were we again? I keep forgetting the name of it. We're
We
at the
were
top
looking. It was observation point, looking over
observation
Angel's Landing.
point.
Yeah.
So O'Neill gets to the edge of the cliff, and this is just like it just drops, and we're
Mhm.
like hundreds of feet up.
1,000.
I'm just like,
You're way up there. Yeah.
O'Neill is literally right on the edge. He's taking some selfies, but that's because he's a personal trainer, and so he wanted to
Yep.
put it on his Instagram. Clary, he was like hanging off of it. I'm just
I
like,
know.
dude, how
Now,
are you doing this?
do you know that where he was from originally?
I do remember where he was from
He's
originally.
from
Yeah,
Florida, all
Florida.
right? So
Yeah.
he had never seen a mountain before he came out to Vegas, and so we met up and we started. So within like 3 months, he had gone from alligators and swamps and shit as flat as a pancake to hiking in Vegas and then Zion National Park
That's
in a matter of 2 months. Yeah, so and then do you remember how he just fall
he
asleep?
just would fall
He would
asleep in
fall
the
asleep.
car. I was like, how do I do that?
And then he'd wake up again. We're like, "How you doing, O'Neill?"
On the snap. It was amazing. Man, I hope he reestablishes contact. I
Yeah, I
really
hope
liked
he's
O'Neill a lot.
Yeah, I hope he's
Yeah.
doing all right too. Be a shame that he got killed in Colombia. That's,
Oh. All right, I'm in a little bit better mood now, so let's go ahead and read these super chats, and we'll call it.
Nonstop Dre, $2. Lord said, "Spread thy ass, those who screw you over."
Good Trey. It's like 6 a.m. where he is right now.
Yeah, I think he said, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." And I said, "Well, when are you going to start exacting that vengeance here?" I'm getting a little impatient.
He sent me a picture that he wanted me to send to you. So
I
I'll
got
send
it.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, he sent it to me on, I think it was Instagram. And it was very endearing. You're like young Dre, like
Yeah.
young man. He had a little bit of nice, cute date he had on prom. It was very nice.
He also asked me just today, he needs to get his taxes done, but he's in the Middle East, so he can't get them done. I actually sent him to Parker, but if that doesn't work out, if any of you H&R guys here want to help a guy out, a fan of ours, maybe that will come into play. So, yeah.
Justified Misagony, $5. Should I apply to extra level jobs at tax firms if they require the hours for CPA that I don't have? I'm looking to work towards the EA.
You know why I'm gonna say yes? Remember this shortage? Dude, they just need people to work at these places right now.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. Is weren't the big four all suck our dick and fuck yourself if you don't like it? Now it's the same thing. If the institutions are not going to abide by reality, like getting their tax forms out, and they're not going to have any money.
Yeah, justified misogyny. I think you should. Like, no one gives a shit. They're just saying that because they want someone. It's kind of like the women that go on Tinder and they're like, I want a guy who's minimum, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 6 figures, all that stuff.
You're not possibly saying HR women do the same with the jobs that they do in their dating profile. No, HR women are humble and totally based.
And their jobs are just so damn important,
so hard.
Oh, he has a follow-up here. So you have 2 years accounting experience. Yeah, man, you gotta go. I don't give a shit what that says. Yeah, you apply, and I think you're gonna get it at one of these firms if you really want that.
Sorry about that econ degree, man. That's
Did you know, Claire? Did you know that one of my majors was econ?
At one time?
This is undergrad. I had econ
Yeah.
and I was in the business school, so I did both.
You have a degree in economics?
Yeah.
You got more of it than I only have a minor in economics. I went finance.
I've never thought about economics since I graduated more than 20 years ago.
Completely worthless. I hope Justified, all I want Justified to do is send us pictures when he makes it down to Mexico in his nice, quiet little internet hooked up hut. That's all I want him to do.
Yeah. Give us an update if you wouldn't mind, Justified Misogyny.
Well, he's not down there yet.
No, about
the
the
longer term plan.
about the positions that he's
Oh,
applying to. Yeah.
Sam Whiskey, the most American name in America. Hey, Vlad, can you have a successful H&R Block franchise while competing with corporate stores?
Well, corporate stores, when I think corporate stores, I think of H&R Block.
H&R, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the answer would be yes. I mean, despite the stuff that you hear about H&R, even from me, they get a lot of clients. I mean, I think I've said this. There's an H&R Block right by the gym that we go to down here, and I'm always every day I look in there. You know, I'm morbidly curious. It's full of people.
How about like tits and ass taxes? Like it'd be like the Hooters of the tax world, and it's just girls who like have nerdy accounting attire with like big bosom cleavage, and then like, okay, we'll do your taxes. But then there's like a bunch of nerds behind that actually do the taxes.
Remember that time you tried to convince my old man to put Mary Jo on the cover of our tax guide?
I did. I have a lot of brilliant ideas, and my book sells, and his doesn't. But you know,
those were good times.
Those were good times.
Couple of quick shout outs to the real uncle Hector.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this man right here, the bacon.
The goddamn bacon.
Goddamn bacon. Yes, sir.
Interesting here. Africans are making your line of work more problematic too. I don't know if it's an African. It just said, it's the weirdest thing.
It just said Africa.
It just said Africa. Like next week it'll be Australia. Just name continents.
I have to think somebody hacked that. That's just
nonstop Dre, $2 Chad. It's pronounced Illinois.
Illinois. Also, Dre said it's 7:21 a.m. there. So what is that? 9 hours ahead or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah. Dre again.
Chad Kleins, just blame Chad. It's all his. It has all his fault. Yes, it's all his fault.
Well, if that's your attitude, you're fired.
My Truth, the King, $5. It's almost like they are purposely adding wrench to mix to force chaos, followed by penalties because they compress the filing window. Thoughts?
I don't think they're trying to force people to accrue like penalties and interest. I just think it's in either incompetence, lack of staff. I mean, they could, if they're updating the server something, they could at least tell us, but there's no information like that.
No, it's some idiot. Hang on. Sometime look at this. Notify me. Sometimes things can get lost. Your data doesn't have to be one of them. It's on us. 3,100 gigabytes and 90. What? Why am I receiving this? Just there's so much bloatware added on these new computers. Like I have to go through it and just get rid of all these.
That just popped up on your computer?
That just popped up. It's.
Did you get a Lenovo or ThinkPad?
A Lenovo. I mean, you're gonna. Thankfully, one of my clients or audience members said, "You want to go and get a refurbished Dell. That's a former workstation." Because they strip that shit down, they just rebuild it back up and put on the basic shit and then send it back out. So refurbished Dells, I guess, are the best. Because a brand new Lenovo is just like, hey, do you want this? Hey, do you want that? Hey, do you want this? Like, dude, I'm not fucking married for a reason. I'm sure the fuck not married to a computer. Stop acting like some bitchy wife.
I've been using Lenovo's for over 20 years. And yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired of them because there's just all kinds of issues with them, especially when they're new.
Yeah. So. Well, this is I'm sure it's every computer where they're like, hey,
Alrighty. The King.
The King, $2 again. Vasectomy, but we don't want to cut our peen off. Yeah. When I get back from my trip to Asia, I should have a book about vasectomies written. It'll be a short piece, pun intended, but I will everything you want to know about vasectomies in one tidy little book.
I'll read this. Nick and Steve. Franchise offices are owned by franchisees. Corporate offices are owned by the corporation.
Oh, okay. So there's an H and Block corporate, and they own some of the offices, I guess.
Okay, well that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, you could still compete with that, I'm sure. I mean,
I'm sure H&R Block Corporate doesn't put. I'm sure they got some math. They don't put one branch right next to a franchise branch.
No.
Because they'd be shooting themselves in the foot.
I gotta say, there are a lot of H&R Blocks here in Fort Worth. I mean, they're just freaking everywhere.
Nonstop J, $2. Black women are praising death of guys in Colombia. I've actually seen a little bit of that, and it's a bit tragic. It's a bit dark. It's like,
is that the one where they get mad that their men are going to South America?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exclusive to the black community, but it's more pronounced. It's not just black guys going overseas, but black men are certainly the majority, I would say, even despite being only 6% or 13% of the male population. And so recently there's been, I think, 8 deaths. I think maybe all black male Americans, maybe not, but yeah, there's a couple gals are like, yep, see what happens? It's like, well, better than sticking around here and listening to you. I mean, at least they're dead. They're not tortured, to be perfectly honest. I understand, but isn't that kind of why they left? If you're laughing at their death,
keep checking on O'Neill. Damn.
Yeah, well, that thought did go through my mind, but maybe I should look it up and make sure it's not him. He could just be bumming around having fun though too.
Okay.
Christoph Anon, $2. Pay someone to load Mint Linux on the laptop. I know how to do it myself. I have a Linux machine here. I can do it. It's just I had the stupid idea I could just buy a stripped down laptop and be able to use it as a word processor and temporarily use this for traveling, which apparently not. So yeah, going forward, I probably am just going to become a Linux man.
Dre,
$2. West, men are toxic, but you ain't men working.
Why aren't men working and dating?
Why aren't men working or dating? Yeah, I might write in a book about that. Sam Whiskey, $5. Hey Vlad, if an economist, an author, and a security guard walk into a strip joint, is that a tax write-off?
The answer is yes, as long as they bring their tax accountant with them.
Yeah. You know what it is, regardless?
What's that?
It's going to be fun times. Good times, man.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Dre for $2. I'm visiting South Korea for a vacation in March. Okay.
Is that on your list of countries? Or?
Is that a what?
Are you planning to go there or no?
No, not really. Dre, you and I I'll be in the Southeast Asia area in general. Let me know if you're around. Maybe if we happen to be in the same country, let's aim to meet up. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what Dre's opinion of South Korea is. Because I'm not tempted by it because it's cold, but he may have a different opinion.
All right, Clary, I feel a lot better after this. Want to thank you for joining. Is there anything you want to plug real quick? Or
yeah, my books. Well, the good news that I guess I didn't announce it on my channel, but Amazon came up with this AI narrator that will automatically turn your books into audiobooks. And I converted 3 books to Audible last night. I did The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. I thought it was going to take days to do it. It took half an hour.
Damn.
I have not listened to the whole thing, obviously, but the technology is so good that you can barely tell it's a robot voice, but it sounds good. And so I converted that one. And then because the process was so seamless, I converted Sanity is the Future of Wealth and then my first book, Behind the Housing Crash. So I have 3 books out that people have been asking for audio books. So go take a look. And then if any of you do listen to them, please give me your feedback in terms of the quality in case there were some problems, because if there's problems, then I'm not going to do the rest of my publications. But if it's, there's not a lot of problems, then the rest of my compendium books, which really aren't they don't make enough sales, but it doesn't cost me anything. It really is a 20-minute process. And so I'll convert everything else into Audible in case you guys want to listen to it.
For what it's worth, the guy who narrated your most recent book, you've been putting clips of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's solid, with his
Keith Hughes. If you guys are looking for a narrator, may I recommend Keith Hughes. So and he I'm trying to get him employment as well because he is good. Plus, I don't want to lose him. It's like, no, you're doing mine. No.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate this, you guys. I'll probably have a rant next week or something. We'll see if Clary's around to join. And Clary, I think, can tell us when we ought to hang out then.
Soon?
Soon.
Soon.